Hey there, crafty friends. This is Misty with Gleespen Designs. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new here, let me know down in the comments. I would love to say hi. And if you've been here before, welcome back. For today's video, I am so excited because we are doing outdoor decor. Also, stick around to the end of the video. We will be announcing our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway winner for us hitting our 10,000 subscribers. I still cannot thank you guys enough. With that being said, let's get on with the DIYs with DIY number 1. For this DIY, you'll need one of the round glass, like fishbowl vases from Dollar Tree. I actually have found them in 2 different sizes. I have found a smaller one now, which is super neat, and I did end up making another one of these with the smaller one and using the multicolor little glass gems, which you will need 1 to 2 bags of the glass gems, also from Dollar Tree. So what I did was I took the glass gems from Dollar Tree and I started using my E6000 glue just for up here at the top, and I'm going to place these glass gems all the way around the top, and then I use some hot glue and E6000 for the side, because if you just use E6000, they will kind of just keep sliding on you. Trust me, I learned the hard way. But so I highly recommend using the E6000 and hot glue. And once you have all of these glass gems placed on to the glass fishbowl vase, it is so pretty. Look how gorgeous this is. Like, I love this. And Dollar Tree does have several different colors in these glass gems. So you could make these for, different holidays for outside, or just having a whole bunch of different colors out in your garden would be so pretty. So next I took some Dollar Tree glass candlestick holders, and I'm adding E6000 and some hot glue again and placing those 2 together, gluing them one on top of the other. Then I also found this like little dish tray. It has little feet on the bottom, so it's kind of like a tray. And I just placed some more E6000 and hot glue on top of the very top of the candlestick holders. And then I place this on top of here. So now that we have this really cute little stand, and you can paint it if you would like, just take it outside and spray paint it. That'd be the easiest way. But I actually kind of like this glass look because it really reminds me of kind of like a crystal look, and it looks really pretty out in the sun. Now you could place your ball right on top, but I wanted mine to light up, so I picked up this solar disc light from Dollar General for $3, placed the ball on top, and look how gorgeous this turned out. Oh my goodness, you guys, could you imagine having a whole bunch of these in different colors all over your garden? I am so doing this, and I cannot wait to make more. And now let's move on to DIY number 2. So I feel like I have to start this off with saying I am absolutely obsessed with this DIY. Like, I'm obsessed with it. First off, it only costs $2.50 to make, and all you need is one of these like barrel bucket planters from Dollar Tree and a canvas. And the size of the canvas that you will need is the 5x7. So you also do not need a Dremel whatsoever. I thought this was going to be a lot harder to cut, but hello, Misty, it's a pretty thin plastic, so yeah, you don't need that. You could very easily cut this with scissors or even a box cutter. Going around this barrel planter, there's 16 wood-looking slats, and all I did was kind of just count out 8 on one side, 8 on the other, just to make sure, and then I went ahead and just cut it right in half. Once you have the barrel split in half, you should have 2 equal parts of a half barrel, if that makes sense. Next, I just took some sandpaper and sanded off any of those sharp edges on both of those planter pieces. So that this has a really strong hold, I'm going to use some E6000 glue, and I place it along the edge and also kind of like on the inside of the edge a little bit. And then I do the exact same thing with some hot glue, and I take both of those little pieces and push them together to form one half of a bigger barrel. I recommend holding it in place long enough for the hot glue to dry so that you can flip it around and add more hot glue on the inside line so that it really adheres together. Next, you will need one of the 5x7 canvases from Dollar Tree, and all I did was go ahead and pull the canvas right off the frame. Normally I have to kind of cut around the staples, but this one was actually really easy to just kind of rip all of that canvas right off. After I had removed the canvas from the frame, I cut the frame in half and then cut those ends at a 45-degree angle. Here I'm showing you where I cut the ends at a 45-degree angle using my miter shears. Unfortunately, I thought the camera was recording when I actually cut the canvas in half, but all I did was cut the 7-inch side in half and then cut those at a 45-degree angle. After I had those two pieces cut, I used my black chalk paint and I gave both of them a nice coat until they were completely covered. Once you have these both painted black and they are dry, you are almost done already with this DIY. And I was so excited that I was almost done, I forgot to use the E6000. So anyways, I suggest using E6000 as well. And all I did was glue these two canvas pieces underneath the half barrel, using them as legs. Once you have your legs glued on, you could add whatever florals or greenery that you would like. I went ahead and added real flowers to mine. I will be adding drain holes as well, but look how cute this turned out, you guys. I love this DIY so much. Yes, this DIY looks gorgeous outside, but I also think it would look really pretty inside your home as well. You could add some floral foam and fake greenery or flowers. You could also turn this into a rustic wedding decor, like a centerpiece as well. This DIY is just so stunning. I still cannot believe it only cost $2.50 to make. And now we can move on to DIY number 3. For this DIY, I'm using this Happy Easter sign from Dollar Tree. I absolutely loved the gingham print on the sides, so I wanted to keep that there and not mess it up at all. So I'm using some painter's tape, and I just placed 2 long strips covering that gingham print so that I can go in with my black chalk paint and paint over the Happy Easter. And I did go ahead and give this 2 coats, making sure that it was completely covered. But if the word Easter shows through a little bit, that's not a big deal because we will be covering the majority of that up. After I have the center completely painted with my black chalk paint, I go ahead and remove the tape before it completely dries so that there is no peeling or ripping. Using one of these wood crates from the Dollar Tree, I also give this a nice coat with my black chalk paint that I had previously used on this sign, and I don't really worry about the very back side, but I do get all of the other sides and the inside and bottom. On the front of this crate, I wanted to have the word welcome, so these farmhouse rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree is perfect. So I take a jumbo craft stick from Walmart and I just kind of hold it up to the welcome and the 2 greenery pieces on either side of the welcome, and I go ahead and cut it down, and it actually is the perfect size for the crate as well. That worked out amazingly. And then I just go ahead and give it a nice coat with my white chalk paint. Once the paint was dry, I cut the welcome and the 2 greenery pieces all in one piece, and I just placed it right on top of that jumbo craft stick, and I transferred it on with my Cricut tool. However, you do not need a Cricut tool to transfer on rub-on transfers. You could use many different things, from a credit card to your scissor handles. I've used my fingernail, many different things. So once it is transferred on, I do like to peel it off really slowly so that if anything starts lifting up, you can kind of lay it back down in place, rub it down a little bit more, and then it will eventually peel off nice and perfect. Now I'm just going to add some hot glue on the back of the craft stick and place it right onto the front of our little black crate right here in the center. And again, I would recommend E6000 or a really strong glue that will work outside in hot weather if you have a lot of warm weather. Dollar Tree has carried these outdoor thermometers for quite some time now. They are a really nice size, so all I'm going to do is take some garden shears. You could probably use scissors really easily for this as well, and I just clip off that little loop up here at the top so that you can hang it. Once I had the thermometer turned around, I did realize there really isn't much of a surface to add any glue to, so I used some of the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree, and I just glue them here and there so that I have a little bit more of a surface to work with. Once I have all the Jenga block pieces in place, I add some hot glue onto the Jenga block pieces, and then I place the thermometer right kind of close up by the top of the sign. After the thermometer is in place, I grab the little black crate and I add some hot glue onto the back of it, and then I also glue it onto the sign, but down here at the bottom. Dollar Tree is carrying these really pretty new greenery garlands. I love this one. However, they do have several different styles, so you could pick whichever one that you would like. All I did was take my scissors and cut off a few of the leaf pieces so that I can glue them up here at the top. Once I thought I had enough greenery glued down, I made a cute little bow with 3 Dollar Tree ribbons. If you guys would like me to start putting how I make my bows in with the video, let me know down in the comments. I would love to know. So all I did was add that cute little bow up at the corner, and then I did add a little bit more greenery because I thought the bow was kind of covering a lot of it up. Once I had the greenery and the bow in place, I restrung a twine hanger, added some florals and greenery into the little box, and here's how this DIY turned out. I think this DIY turned out so pretty, and I cannot wait to change out the florals for each season. And now it is time for DIY number 4. For this DIY, I'm using one of these garden dishes from Dollar Tree, and I go ahead and remove the sticker off the front and the back because I do want this to be completely see-through. Once I had both the stickers removed, I grab a 12-inch wreath frame from Dollar Tree and I lay it upside down on my work table, and then I place the bowl in the center, and then I go ahead and use my hot knife. You could also use a screwdriver, just heat it up. You could use your glue gun, just kind of poke the hot part right into that plastic. But I do have this link down below in the description box because I do have it in my Amazon store. I poked 6 holes into the plastic dish, and then I take my zip ties and just zip tie the plastic dish and the center ring on the wreath form together. I use zip ties because I really didn't want to use any types of glue because this will be around birds and animals, so I used zip ties hoping that it was a much safer option. Once the garden dish is all secure with the zip ties, go ahead and cut off any of those excess pieces on the zip tie, and then I just kind of push that little square piece to the back, and here's where you can really see that the wreath form is upside down and then the garden dish is sitting inside of it. Dollar Tree carries these really pretty garlands. They are a vine with some ivy wrapped around them. They also have vines with other types of leaves wrapped around them as an option as well, so you could pick whichever one you would like. All I do is flip the wreath right side up to where the bowl is now upside down, and I'm going to attach this vine going around the wreath form on the second ring, not the very top ring, the second ring, so that the birds and the squirrels or whatever is going to eat or drink from this, because this is going to be kind of like a bird feeder or bird bath, whatever your option will be. And they can kind of grab onto the bars from the wreath form so that they can eat or drink or bathe, I guess. So once again, all I do is grab those zip ties again, and I go around and attach this ivy vine garland right around the wreath, and look how amazing this turned out because it was actually right at the perfect length that I needed it to be. Once the garland is nice and secure, I went ahead and cut off all the excess pieces on the zip ties, and then I faced it right side up just to kind of check and see how it was coming along. And then I grab this pick that I actually got at Walmart, but Dollar Tree actually carries a really similar pick just like this, and it would work perfect. You might just need to grab 2 of them. This was $3 anyways from Walmart, so it kind of works out. I chose this pick because I knew that the flowers would dangle exactly how I wanted them to, so I just took some shears and went ahead and cut the pick completely apart. Once I had the pick cut apart into individual stems, I turned the wreath back over so that I can start placing these little individual stems right where I added the ivy garland. And again, I do that by, you guessed it, zip ties. And as I was zip tying these on, all I did was kind of move them around and play with them a little bit so that I knew the flowers would dangle when it was hanging up in the air. And I just wanted to say, this is just my personal preference. You could definitely add regular flowers where they don't dangle, and you could make this really, really full and really pretty. But again, I wanted to have a lot of those bars still showing so that they had something to grip onto. Once the wreath is as full as you would like it, flip your now bird bath or bird feeder where it is right side up, and then Dollar Tree carries these chain plant hangers, and I've actually had this one for a really long time, and I used 2 of those plant hangers, and I used the chains off of one of them, and I just placed the chains onto a second one so that now the chains were double the length and it was a really long hanger. At the bottom of the 3 chains on the plant hanger, there's a little latch, and all I do is latch each one of these chains to the wreath form on the very outer ring so that it is nice and even. I space them out every 2 spaces on the wreath form. And once your chain is attached, this DIY is done, and here's how it looks as a bird bath in our front garden first. And look at those flowers dangle from underneath. I think this is just so gorgeous, and here's how it looks as a bird feeder as well. Now let's move on to DIY number 5. For this DIY, you'll need one of these galvanized wall bases from Dollar Tree, and you see that front galvanized metal piece there. Well, just kind of playing around, I noticed that all that is held on with to the other galvanized piece is the metal is just curved around the lip on the round part of the galvanized metal piece, if you get what I'm saying. Oh gosh, you guys, this is going to be hard to explain. So what I did is I pushed the round part in a little bit, and then it was really easy to just kind of go along the round edge and pull this front part off. It's so much easier to watch than explain, you guys. I'm so sorry. As difficult as I probably made it just sound, it is actually really easy, and there probably is an even easier way to do it. So then after I have that front part off, I go ahead and just make sure that I have all of the sides back in that circle shape. Since this is not going to be a hanging piece, I cut off the hanger and just filled the holes with a little bit of hot glue. Using some of the tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree, I use some wood glue hot glue sticks, and I start gluing a bunch of 2 tumbling tower blocks together, and you will technically have to make 24 of these 2, and then you're going to stack 2 of those on top of each other, gluing them together, and you will make a total of 12. Once I have all the tumbling tower block pieces together, I paint all of them black with my black chalk paint. Not only did I paint all of the tumbling tower block pieces black, I also used one of these small cubes, one of the little wood cubes from Dollar Tree, and at least on 4 of the tumbling tower block pieces, you want to make sure you paint both of the outer sides as well. I place the little black cube down, and then I take those 4 tumbling tower block pieces and I place one on either side of that little black cube, and then I glue them into place. The little wood cube in the center is not as thick as the tumbling tower block pieces, so I just used some hot glue. Unfortunately, I was out of wood filler. You could totally use wood filler if you would like, but I just used some hot glue, filled it in, and painted it black, and then flipped it over because this side at least is now all even, because that is the side that the wood cube was actually on my tabletop surface. Look, you can tell there I was kind of getting ahead of myself. I was super excited about getting this put together. I just knew it was going to turn out so cute, so I ended up gluing one of the pieces on, but you do want to glue 2 of those tumbling tower block pieces that you painted black together so that you have longer legs. Then I take the longer pieces and I glue each one up at the top end of those 4 first tumbling tower block pieces that we originally glued on. Once all the pieces are together, it should look like this, and you could flip it upside down and place the top on here like that, but I wanted the X to be down at the bottom so that it could actually be seen. And I'm just going to add some hot glue onto the top of the tumbling tower block pieces, and then place our round galvanized wall vase onto the top of those. At this point, you could really use it for whatever you would like, a little table, a plant stand, but I wanted to turn it into a tabletop fireplace. So I added some of these white rocks from Dollar Tree, and then I also added some of these black, I believe they're called river rocks from Dollar Tree. And then I used some of these large tea light candles that I got at Walmart. They are a really nice size. I have seen people use the fancy heat from Dollar Tree, but I have little ones and we might actually roast marshmallows with our little tabletop fireplace. So I wanted to make sure it was completely safe, or at least safe as possible. Check out this really cool item I found at Dollar Tree yesterday, and it is absolutely perfect for this DIY, and that is this cute little bottle of, well, it's not actually little, it has 100 wood matches, and it has the strip to light your matches on the back there, and it is premium matches. They are really, really nice actually, and you could actually set it right underneath here on the little X and keep them there, and it just looks all so cute together. You guys, I lit that match and then lit the candles, and I was blown away by how amazing this turned out. I have this tabletop fireplace on my table out on my front porch, and I just love how this DIY turned out. Like I had mentioned earlier, this would also make a really neat plant stand, so I added some succulents so you guys could see how it would look like that as well. Before I announce the winner to the giveaway prize, I want to send out a huge personal thank you to Betty Ann, Deborah, and there was also an anonymous coffee bot, which I later found out was my great friend Tracy. Whatever donations that I get, I always take and buy more Dollar Tree supplies or more craft supplies so we can keep making DIYs. So again, ladies, thank you guys so much, and now let's get on to the winner. I wanted you guys to be able to see the winner being picked right along with me. Sorry my laptop is a mess, but I recorded my laptop from my phone, so it's not the best footage. But I wanted you guys to see that it is completely fair. I do not actually pick the winner myself or anything like that. YouTube picks the winner for me with a random comment picker. So let's put in hashtag farmhouse and pick our winner. And our $100 Amazon gift card winner is Mary Conrath. I hope I'm saying that right. Congratulations, Mary. Thank you so much for your very sweet comment and your support. Mary, my email is down below in the description box. Send me an email and I will definitely get this out to you. And to anyone who is watching this, if you ever have any questions or even just need someone to talk to, my email is always down below in the description box, and I am always here for any of you. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all and a few new friends on the next one. Bye!